All right, yeah. Hey, Vice President Lizer here. It is our town hall for the Low Income Energy Assistance Program, LIHEAP, and some other great vital information on some assistance for our citizens. But as we always do, we always open up in prayer. So I just want to thank you for joining us on this night, and we look forward to giving you all the information that you're going to need on such a vital program. So let's go to the Lord in prayer. Yeah, dear God, thank you for tonight, the ability to help those that are enduring hardship, Lord. We pray that we can roll out this assistance, Lord, and that it truly goes to those that you are calling it to, Lord, those that are crying out and praying, Lord, for assistance and for direction. So your word says that we do a good thing when we help the widow and the orphan. So, Lord, this is right up that measure to reach out to those that are in hardship right now. So we pray and give this evening to you. May those that hear the information be blessed from our wise team here, Lord, educated and trained and experienced in rolling out assistance like this, Lord. So we're going to pray like it depends on us, but we're going to pray like it depends on you. So thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Dean God, Dean God, for being our leader and our great present help in those times that we need it. So thank you again. May the people of the land be blessed, and we appreciate this time. We love you, and just give you all the praise and glory that's to your name. In Jesus' name, Ahiyat Dean God. Amen and amen. And so before I introduce our president, Jonathan Nez, I just want to have a few short words. This is the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, which is also LIHEAP, as you hear it. But tonight's discussion will inform our Navajo citizens on how Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, or LIHEAP, can help keep families safe and healthy during this time through initiatives that assisted families with energy costs. So first things first, let us pray. And as we did, we're going to also just give this time to provide from these individuals. Appreciate Deannah Neswood-Gishey's leadership in this year, director of our Division of Social Services. But these federally funded assistance that we're going to be receiving here will help us manage our costs associated with home energy bills and during this energy crisis. Weatherization and energy-related minor home repairs, those are all part of the information we're going to hear. And so we thank the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the administration for the children's and families, and also our Office of Community Services and the Division of Energy Assistance. All of those organizations help advocate and release $4.5 billion in supplemental funding for this LIHEAP program in the federal fiscal year of 2021. So we appreciate it. We also thank U.S. Congress that appropriated these funds under the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, as we're calling it, of 2021, which President Biden signed into law on March 11th of this year, 2021. So this act provided $4.5 billion for additional funding to provide payments for LIHEAP. So again, this is going to go out and be rolled out to our citizens who so desperately need it. So LIHEAP can assist our Navajo citizens and help them to stay warm during the winter months and cool in the summer through programs that will reduce the cost of health and safety problems, and also the need to heat these homes and also the cooling as well. So we just want to be considerate that LIHEAP does not provide direct grants to individuals. We're considerate of that, and that LIHEAP would help us to pay full attention to tonight's presentation. So at that, we appreciate leadership. And again, thank you and God bless you. For those of you who are going to benefit from this here, let's just continue to be thankful and grateful that there is assistance coming down. And I know we're a big old huge government, right? And so we got two huge governments, the federal government and then the Navajo Nation, but we're all working together to help bring assistance to you all. And tonight, just be a sponge, learn everything you can. And if you need more information, you'll be able to view this town hall again repeatedly. So God bless you. Thank you from the Office of the Vice President here. And now I want to take your attention and introduce our President of the Navajo Nation, Mr. Jonathan Nez. Sir, take it away.
Thank you, Vice President Shana Ado Hanan Hichikoin Ladon Nakal Tudinzen by Hianitzen Shanan Tato Shana Aro Kondo Nakanda Neshki Atzelede a large Asataki Deannah Neswood-Gishey ya Kuju Division of Social Services will yeji aja not anin lido aro bandal nishigi nakhandal nishigi Delilah Goodluck aro Rosalind Begay Eshe kodo hanen hichikode leto lehti kodo Vice President Yahol ne gijunle di aslahande leto hanen hichikonde igiya di beso chdet ado Washington de ado beso ki kon hikeni na buka na awo do le no go jo da beso chdet da dinas ni bilina tashi kon ashon das nishinde don das nishta ado kujido bikenda oslegishi alla asli jundla di the moya da ya kujia hagan has aj rent that egi e net besage that yeah uh, housing urban development will yego den ya beso kaol wado ishina sos hada to leto nas kodalle aro DJ ya kodo hanne nije konanel negi na kigo kuje Washington do the Division of Social Service in Washington as aj peso la senelo kon keni hinne la cheda inigi jo hot ya peso budget low income home energy assistance program will yego la LIHEAP deshna tashin hispedas and jo din le Khaygoya peso assistance program will yego lai wa dashindishna aj peso gi yati hagan has ya tobik enda lego aj la peso pasanal le hagan daznala aj into wage da aj tobik enda osleo chudas inigia aj la peso ya la bejalia so do kodon hijashana de leto tsila de linigido Division of Social Service dal nishigido o he dan hidi nido le shikeno slini jodin le nihinat anin dan linigi a ye ha ganja do a de ha ganja Washington jin nakhan da haz khanigido nakha yadal tiginat ain dan linigi a khot ya peso ye lada slido lanja da sutagi lekin lagaysa anda biji kai la so behaz ani sligo ben na chikon di shlatin ha zogo peso ya belada slido chokon hikeni na la chehda tia dinal ni gibinina de kosin skagi na states atta traditionally atla shin dal nishinda do kadeo le haganda ya aden da so trado nihal chin yikedan linigi da ba da holnya he julla shin don dal nishibinina konla yushin la ni bills that kutza ebinina kodon le Washington da ni ka wala peso Navajo Nation Division of Social Services Pichakolia Aroshin hata to leto le Kodoshi Deannah Neswood-Gishey Yahalnet to le to diot anal sos hata to le social service go kinendas nelago di de nebiki apakao hot ya ad daba office das nelota le nan George de do le trotrat da aro de nebiki apakao do la hot offices and das that aden dal nishigido nika do chahot nal sosigi hada do le ashone alla pesos nelot eshik inaslini dibe to eshido ya nichashane de leto e ago ya eshi Washington which peso konal neto le so e binin na e kodo hada do leta di no hanen hichi kodel neto le. This is Jonathan Nez, President of the Navajo Nation, and I appreciate everybody tuning in. Excuse me. And we've been having these even internet payments you can get through these programs. If you ever get a chance and you miss some of these segments, just go back to our social media pages and review those, because those are monies that are available to those of you that are possibly struggling throughout this pandemic. And today, we just want to let everybody know too that we signed a resolution to reopen the Navajo Nation government at 50%. We're going to do this cautiously, and many of us are vaccinated, and we still got mask mandate here. So just continue to be cautious. I mean, we already know what the protocols are. We already know what to do. We've been saying this for the past 16 months. And so at some point, we're going to have to reopen. And today was the day that we signed a resolution to reopen our Navajo Nation to our visitors. And we also reopened, we're going to be reopening our schools and also getting back to our chapter meetings. But we all, like I said, know the protocols, and we ask you to abide by those and the mask mandate. So if you see someone without a mask, just say, hey, respectfully, just let them know we have a mask mandate. But today we got Director Deannah Neswood-Gishey from the Division of Social Services that's going to be talking about the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program and the Low-Income Household Water Assistance Program. And these are support relief fundings that are available to our citizens. And we encourage you to apply. And Delilah Goodluck from the communications section, Rosalind Begay from the Navajo Family Assistance Services will be giving you all a PowerPoint presentation on how to apply for these two opportunities. And there is a deadline. So we want to get as many people funded and just get the word out and let everybody know. And so with that, thank you so much. And we're going to make this hopefully a quick presentation. And if you missed something, just go back to our Facebook page and rewatch the segment. I know some of you are waiting for the Suns game at 7. But this is very important. Some of you are struggling out there, and we recognize that. And we want to make sure you get the information to apply for these two funding opportunities. So with that said, thank you so much. And I will give the time over to Deannah Neswood-Gishey, the Executive Director for the Navajo Division of Social Services. Deannah?
Thank you, Mr. President, Vice President, for allowing our Division of Social Services to provide presentation. So again, I'm Deannah Neswood-Gishey. Touching the nation, integrated buses chain. Sydney just the chain. Touching the Chanela. I live in the community of Greasewood Springs, and I'd like to welcome all of you to this evening's presentation. We have a lot of vital information that we want to present to individuals who have a Navajo census number residing on the Navajo Nation, as well as individuals who are residing off the Navajo Nation in the states of Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah. And so how we receive the LIHEAP funds, Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, we will have presentation provided by Ms. Delilah Goodluck. She will do each slide in English, and then she will immediately be followed by Ms. Rosalind Begay, who is our policy legislative expert. So she will present in Navajo, and then we'll go to the next slide. So we'll do a quick interaction. But again, we normally have a lot of our services only provided to individuals who reside on Navajo. So with the allocation that we receive for CARES, we were given some flexibility. So again, as I mentioned earlier, these fundings are direct funded from the Division of Department of Health and Human Services, the Administration for Children and Families. So these are not Navajo Nation funds directly. We are direct recipients. So this is how we wanted to do our presentation. So I'll turn it over right now. Delilah, can you go ahead and start your presentation? Thank you.
Good evening. This is Delilah Goodluck. I'm with the Division of Services that we provide here. And give me 1 second. Okay, so the purpose of our presentation is to provide awareness of these programs that are eligible for, like Deanna said, Navajo Nation households and households living off of the Navajo Nation who have a CIB. And we're also wanting to increase our application intake. So through this presentation, we hope that you share the information with family, friends. You may also be eligible. So we're hoping that through this presentation, this overview, you will be more aware of the services, the financial assistance services through LIHEAP and through LIHEAP. So we just went through the agenda a little bit. Deanna did her introduction, and just like she explained, I'll be doing the English version, and Roz will be doing the Navajo version. So with LIHEAP CARES, we do currently provide LIHEAP low income household energy assistance program through our Navajo Family Assistance Services. And this CARES LIHEAP is a little different, mostly because it is in response to COVID-19. So if you're applying for the LIHEAP CARES, you will have a different criteria, and it will be specifically in response to COVID-19. So we'll go over that in a little more detail when we get to the eligibility criteria. But for the LIHEAP CARES, it's a one-time, excuse me, a one-time non-recurring. So this program, once the funds are expended, this program will not exist for the next year or anything following, because it is a one-time non-recurring. So we do have up until September 30th of this year to expend these funds. And like I said, it is specific to the COVID-19. So if families were impacted in result of COVID-19, this is the fund. These are the funds that will help families get back on their feet, help households get back on their feet. So what was mentioned earlier is that the Navajo Family Assistance Services Office within the Division of Social Services will be administering this LIHEAP Cares. So at all of the INFAS office locations, which are housed with the Department for Family Services, they will be accepting these applications, and they will be processing them and approving them and preparing them for payment. So Roz, you may go ahead and do the translation.
Hello? No? Yat eishik edo shid neta hois ago da isenol tagi che yashid eji do ashi hinshlo torich ini bashishin khachini da shichedo tkanesani eda shinala dag ehalan holiere ne wacho sach ejo bechejo ado satka holiedo eisi ishte ako di I awnin hisahilne di the net Washington Peso a day Hawando or ye Hawan Yahanajaho di the Cosensanas aids ada Nahanshni ado Hashtan could Peso the Quick K or sheet at the highest at the large Iki Yahe CARES Act such a debt ben na cargo na Peso Sapaja Alia Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program no sa LIHEAP dapat sa hash peso dapat no what beta honosen could sa the Neba Washington hi koje sa nakabaja aliado kote nakan nete biniyadi hanan hichen ilne aje peso that aniki edi at na kindezeto dat ebinit so a kone indezeto ajabe bini na edi hanan hichen ilneto ne kad ol was ebini ya ebaka a Chinese Nils no benchis wilne a Division of Social Services aja office has a Navajo Family Assistance Services a kut abet oje agenda nishike aja kut ayen da dilnish a kut Delilah.
Okay, thank you, Roz. Okay, so on to our next slide. Here we'll cover who is eligible to receive LIHEAP Cares. So for LIHEAP Cares, like I said, it's a little different from the regular LIHEAP. LIHEAP Cares will be eligible to Navajo households on the Navajo Nation, as well as Navajo households off the Navajo Reservation in the states of Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah. And these funds will be available to households off the Navajo Nation, but to those who are not receiving similar assistance. So if you're already receiving some type of home energy assistance and you're living off of the Navajo Nation, you will not be eligible to receive this assistance. So although all Navajo Nation households, everyone across the nation is impacted by COVID-19, these funds are specific to these bullet points below, the 1 through 6. You will still have to provide an application for eligibility, so it is income-based. So every applicant must complete an application, must be determined eligible, And once eligibility is determined, then payment will be made. And later on in the slide, we will show the payment matrix, and then we will also show the eligibility matrix, of the household size compared to the income size. So you can kind of get an idea of where your household stands and what you would be potentially eligible for. But for the COVID CARES, LIHEAP Cares, you must be positive with COVID-19 and you're at home recovering. So you can apply for these services if that pertains to you. If you're in quarantine and caring for a family member who tested positive, you're eligible. If you suffered from lost wages, reduced wages, or you lost your employment because of business closures due to COVID-19, you are eligible. If you're complying with social distancing, if one of your household members tested positive for COVID-19 and you're staying at home away from everyone, not going to work, then you would be potentially eligible. Also, if your place of employment or school has been closed and household members are at home, you are potentially eligible because your heating and cooling expenses will definitely increase with more people being at home and staying at home. So if you had a closure of your school, then you are potentially eligible. And for a crisis assistance, if the household experienced a power outage, bad road conditions caused by weather, then that would be a crisis situation. And, you'd definitely be eligible for the LIHEAP Cares because of things that were out of your control. So those are the 6 areas that you could be potentially eligible for the LIHEAP Cares in regards to the COVID-19. So the LIHEAP Cares is to prevent, prepare for, and respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. So it is different from the standard regular LIHEAP. The regular LIHEAP is still available as well. So if you do not qualify for the COVID-19, but you qualify through your income, then you can go with the regular LIHEAP. So with the regular LIHEAP, it's the same to where it's home energy assistance. So you'd be applying for assistance with heating and cooling, and also with weatherization. Double Roz, you can go ahead and do the translation for this slide.
Yat Eman Khela pa hot I la jo hot a kwa an I dikit larger ako the nani kliniki ni hi page hot loniki to the nebikaya bena soy be ka wit iniki e ba hot I ado the nan kliniki be page hot loniki ado le tip nap bena so la te ke hat iniki Koje hos doja hot zoi bi bagano edo tai yo toja hot zoge yi bagano edo tai shimpi toje hot zoi yi bagano ado adit et abenalt egi do beba ka o wadiki ejo eba hot ido ado din the kosen sa nast et ada nini bet ado hashin la odo hashin hon kelo Nahot nahot dodge and na hashit at egot nahot up a cot arbit and the wheat eob a cot arbit the hoel jish a cot out as trago as case in the edi base on and degi bab Papa bekat ol was ot Kheda Nihira has age COVID-19 the kosinsa nast aids at the hagi it's ado pataho ao argent the alka tested al iniki bedod na lahat no what up hosen wata what sa hot put zagot pa hot ado what sa kheda what aje bedod na o nihira Penina ahawake asati setao edotai pa akhwashiyango ahawake pa akhwashiyango okhot ado e penina nashni hiki penina nihich na nation ego penina go nihich na halgehe atzago edotai na nishta nihits ne atzago Pandal nishent pan an nisheta na nishi daten kalo dina hiki benina akot ago nolskotan akot benina beso ade ene etengo kot ado di hestades ezo als ana alteha nenigi behes anigi beolzengo khayda hawanke بالكهوت إني تا أجل بدول نعطينا ناشنيهكي بانسلين أو تا إبنينا أكت أشتو أخت بأخوت أدو قلت خائتا الشندا تا قلت خاو إيدو تاي أني خيدا تا أي نشت خاو أي أجدو تا قلت خان إتات زاغو تا نشاكي تا إتات زاغو تا إسكالا بنيناغو ahawatan hai sot khago ako aje khego behos dogi la chon on shingo to behos aziki benina ahawai na hai sot khago benina aje bik as laha aha etta tani so to hot aje to behot ado endeta beda el cleat sin ista ebits ado chos ego edo dai propane da chos ego benina da hashtindo da zazo da ista hasle o da benina do nits ada nes sizo bits ada bits ada da nes sizo edo da ista hallo propane soldat addition benin nachat needs astin kota benin na kot anhilcho do hot hot jo ahne crisis assistance station Delilah.
Okay, we will go to the next slide. Okay, the assistance that LIHEAP Cares provides is a one-time payment for heating and cooling expenses. So we can do the bill payment assistance, energy crisis assistance, and then also weatherization and energy-related home repairs. But remember, this is LIHEAP Cares, so it is all in response to the COVID-19. So we can provide this assistance as long as it falls under the COVID-19 umbrella. And then keep in mind, we also have the standard LIHEAP, which is also available. So you can apply for either one at this point, and the assistance does end September 30th, 2021. So these applications will be made available. They are available right now. And at the end of the presentation, we will provide the web address and then also a phone number to call. So the assistance can be used for reconnection fees. It can also be used for paid directly to vendors for electricity, gas, propane, that's natural gas to either heat your home or cool your home, propane, wood, coal, or pellet. And then for the home cooling, is for electricity bills or a home or a cooling system unit. And also for the heating, wood stoves, pellet stoves are also something that can be assisted with. And there is a process for that. So if you're applying for that service, it's best to speak with a NFAS senior caseworker, and they'll walk you through that process on how to do that, because there's some extra steps that you will have to take. But anything to do with heating and cooling expenses, this program can help pay for that. And this program, again, is a federally funded program. So there is documentation that will be needed. There is justification that will be required of applicants. And because it's federally funded, it is just a little, it's a process that, can be lengthy. And these aren't Navajo Nation funds, so it's not as fast. So just to forewarn applicants, sometimes this can take some time to get through the application process. But for the LIHEAP Cares, the NFAS program is creating an application that's a lot shorter than the standard LIHEAP. That's just for your information. But these are the services that LIHEAP Cares can assist with. Roslyn?
Hat ila be ka a yedla kut anai de kit. The ya LIHEAP Cares Act. Ada be eliyedige it asahat be eliyed. Asahat it ya adne ishan kut aba tahanasan di peso asati bija aliyagi. Asahat be o waslo kut edet a called a larger iki ya behos doi sa shin a beshbi kon bi de del jahagi be hos dogon ndan hecha a ko ajishin chisto legenda eshin aje khot chadal ado sa shin yaha besh bi kon palette hashide sne what shin sto sa chidal what chon inigi Hishin khati lagi do be ba hot ito be la as linki be ka o wadiki up bibich and hoto nil be beshi kon ba ki has aniki kwa a kwa chon iniki nal sos nil so ziki bibich and hoto nil be sogi ado besh behos doha da kisi o tsin spete jehiki edo propane da down iniki ado behos azato tsin spete bete jehiki ya khashin tsin Ebits ado chon iniki into that's a continental divide that's a ajiki a ajo base of which hoto nil a koshin questional so what do less big ehona ilihiki ahaki eshin kwa eben nature what aje what a card or what ado sa a nana crisis assistance station sa do one dot Hwan dadel culture ando tin da no shin sa so da sha ando alta no da akot alta sto akot abe ka ilie weatherization yisne ado home energy related repair dishne kot aje sto bed or wasot Delilah.
Okay, up next we have the This is the payment matrix. So in review of this, and this will be made available on the Navajo Division of Social Services website. And again, at the end of this presentation, we will provide that website address. But if you review this matrix, you will see on under the family size unit, that's just showing the number of household members. And then next to that, you will have earned income. You'll see annual, and then you'll see monthly. So for example, if you have a family size of 3, your annual income should not exceed that $39,933.60. And if you look at it from the on the monthly side, for a family of 3, you cannot exceed $3,327.80 per month. So that's how you would view this matrix, and it's just to show what your family house or what your household could be potentially eligible for as far as being approved for these services. And again, this will be made available on our website. And like Mr. President said, you can revisit this presentation and view this. Go ahead, Ross.
دي كأنش كتيجي أيها بيسو الإنجي هو هز آجي خشي تكنلت إشي تهو غانكي غانت أصلاها كنا أصلاها هو نجي بيجي أنا نهي صوت خنيجي دي بيسو الإنجي بكأهو دي خد أكاد أول والدو خد أخوت إيتو لسبا أخوت إيتو أني تخجلت إيجو نويا هاغنا تخنلت إيجو دانهي غانو أكود أصلا أنا خجن بيسو الإنجي تخطين دوبا أناست إيدميل ياجي دوبا أناست إدين دوبا تخطين دوبا تخا بيسو دوبا ستخطين لتشي أكونلت أو إيش إيدو ليش أدو أصلا أندزج تخاد ميل دوبا تخاد نزاتين دوبا ناتين بيسو دوبا سبيدو إيش أكود أكوه بناتشي أكود أكونلت بيسو أش إيغو أبيج كونلت أش إيغو نخاهوت إيدو ليش بالله أش إيغو دوبا نخاهوت إيدو ليش دي 60% استخدين لتشي يا بيسو أصلا بيسو اللي بك هنا الإنجو أكود دي هوز دوجخا هوز زوجي بيسو الإنجي ميديان إنكم إحنا بك دي خديل يادو دي بك خيلا بأخوت نو دي بناتشين ساتو بنيان يشويلنا Delilah.
Okay, this next matrix that we have is the benefits matrix. So this just gives you an overview of what your household could be potentially eligible for. So there's there's a home heating component, then you have the home cooling, and then the crisis assistance component, and then below that the weatherization. So all of these services are made available to households, and depending on household size, you will see the maximum benefit amount available. So for wood, coal, and pellets for a household of 3 would be $600. And then a household of 4 to 6 would be $700. And then for a household with 7+ members, $800. And then it goes on down to the cooling component. Same idea. So if you're paying for electric only for the cooling services, and you're made eligible, approved for these services, a family of 3, household size of 1 to 3 is eligible to receive $600. And for the crisis assistance, this will be for the reconnection services, and it shall not exceed $200. And this just helps pay for the reconnection fees only. It then onto the weatherization component for cooling. The amount there is $1,000, and this is just a benefit matrix. So this is just showing what a household could be potentially eligible for any of these components: heating, cooling, crisis assistance, or weatherization. So in the application, you can identify which service you are wanting to apply for, and this matrix just gives you an idea of what benefits are available to the household if you are eligible for the services. Roz?
The ayaha ba iye diki nanis kit the os art elba iye hedu shiba hat or set or less a large iki ayaha ho one be hos doge ayahalne a large is so hockey do legend do pallets is legend yajidat olia chiz yajidat olia pallets it's a larger AD she AD beshakat or was no sino adon na kojo a nasa na jago it halanel wound up on a asa adon late halt edge is hardness not team bear iliad ado digital aid only his touched edge is so sitness not team ado was so ado the watch a original or count oh a yahai aslaha howaniki bi on a se bidness not team hot abe iliad ado account that nana so ka or ke has it's an stone it's zola propane ado natural gas it's a guy that's all yeah a yaha tra was at la stop by hot heidi she just ido heidi she beshakat all the questions and no sto a heshi bunch is ni hiki a ajab beso ki ha خلا الله أي أجاب بتشكل خل أي قد يانا هلنا قد الكي أنا أدو هو بهوز أزيكي أيدي بشكات أول وشجنز إنه أي يهات سن الشين بيلوش دولش أي يهات استخاد الناس نبين ليش تخجلت أجا دهغانو أدون ليدين تو استخجلت أجا إسوس الناس نبين أدو سستدونو وشكي هجت أو كشنالت أو sebidin is nothing. Ado akana nanas so hoki e yahai atsen ish hoshihait ego hatan sisota e bets ado e yaha behos dodo behos kazi lola kwa hatan badiliago e kwa edo eliedo behot na kidnez nothing e akut e hand at all خبان دولتي كنت أجبت أول هذا تين كنا كي هي بهوز كذا تو أج بهوز كذا شبكاش بشكات أول وجنز إنه الله تميل يجي كنت تين أول الكي خنا خيديشي بشكات أول والجن زني خيدي شيء يسي تجوش إنكي كنت هالنادي دليلة.
Okay, up next we have our eligibility criteria. So as far as the eligibility for the LIHEAP Cares, it is a financial assistance program. So there is eligibility criteria in regards to earned income. Depending on your income, the program will determine if you're eligible for these services. So earned income statements for household members 18 years of age and older are required. So when you complete your application, these statements will need to be included. Your certificate of Indian blood. Also, if there's no CIB, then tribal identification cards for the household members, social security cards for the household members. You will need a government issued ID, so a state ID, driver's license, a tribal ID or a passport. And this is only required of the applicant only, not the household. You will need proof of residency. So proof of residency, even though this program is open to Navajo households in Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah, you will still need to provide residency to show that you are living within those states. And this will also help determine if you are receiving assistance from any other programs that are similar to LIHEAP. So those are the documentation and the criteria when applying for the LIHEAP Care service. Ross?
خيتي تيبه خاخد إدوليلي ياناهلنا أكو نالصوص خجد الله أكو نال الله وكيدكي أي بيسو الإنكي نجل نشوطة أدا بيسو هجأنا هديهكي أي يهلنا أي يوكي دوليل خيشي بالتهوغانيكي سبيت آتابنا خدون آدون ناسجن أي كواد نانسأكي نال نشكو أكو أدا بيسو هجأنا هديهكي أي Social security card nalsos tot je edo alsot honeb howagon beltahaganike e at elto wakedla jodi e peso no tahagi e Washington de peso no tahto de wando ye howan e hot ayela sli ko kojet kayan hiltas anigi United States je aje kehet iniki epa ishibinina di social security card waked Ado Kheshinal sos nil soziki bahat eliagi yaha big ehonna apansata edo tai nsa ta hoisto te ade nal sos not big it's dao hot out ID de edo tai tribal ID da edo tai passport de big ehoj amna atahagi Ede wicked nalsos nin sozigit ya by wicked la ado hadishin hawan edo hadishin kahajit inido bahashdolne application igi baka nalsos bika hatadilne igi baka ashdolil ado na the nebanahso belata kahajit ego ada harango Sahatahoisodi was dodo yo tojedo shimpi toje ebi kehojiton ado did up and not ehigido behaka aliedot ya behot I behaka o wado hast ilan dish unde behoto zin qua التوخت اي باخو نصن دولار شك ايدو شدنا دليلة
Okay, how to apply for these services? You will find the application on the Navajo Division of Social Services website. You will also find it on the Navajo Nation website under, I think it's public announcements. You'll see the LIHEAP Cares application. It's available there as well. And the applications are also made available at all Navajo Family Assistance Service offices. There's an office in Winter Rock, Chinle, Pinyon, Gallup, Shiprock, Crown Point, and Delcon. So if you would like directions to these offices, please feel free to call the executive office at Division of Social Services, and their number is 928-871-6851. And at the end of the presentation, we will have a graphic that will also provide that number and website address for you. And the applications will only be accepted for one household, so one application per household. Ross?
خليت هدات النقلة كودينا الصوص هدات النقي اي يها ادي بيشن نسكي سكي بك اهو اي كواد كواد بكا انله اي كواد اجن نتجينيلتو ادو اجلتو بأهزن ادو تو بهنة دوليل ادو INFAS station and Navajo Family Assistance Services the ASAP the office tagaho zanjado chenlije ado pinyan de do nanjoje do not only nes just shiprock jado Crown Point ado Delcon de what eight adetla the office the ehozendo le ado Navajo Division of Social Services to the at the Quiguashita in Nishiki the office the application nas nel dole the she the banada idoshkidole ado asha one has ado asai the onesto it asako nalsos dol sos akot a yaha ishke sinel kwahan neki yeah.
Okay, that concludes our presentation on the LIHEAP Cares. And we do have a couple of questions that have come in. We do have one that asks, is there a deadline? So the deadline for this, the LIHEAP Cares and for LIHEAP will be September 30th, 2021. So these funds will be available up till then or until expended. So if these funds become unavailable before that time, the public will be alerted to be informed that the funding is no longer available. But if there is funding available, then the deadline will be September 30th of this year. The other question that came in is weatherization available for mobile homes and trailers. So yes, it is available. Applicants may apply. And again, it's for heating and cooling. So an AC unit, a wood pellet stove, the heating, like the wood and the pellets, that's available to the households. And bill payment is available to vendors such as NTUA. You know, that's available to mobile home households living in mobile homes and trailers. So it is available to all households. And again, we encourage all households to apply for these services, for bill payment, for crisis assistance, or for weatherization. And the other question we have is, what about families off the nation? Currently, the guidelines state that Navajo Nation households living on the Navajo Nation are eligible. Households in the states of Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah with CIB or tribal enrollment are eligible for these services, eligible to apply for these services. And other states beyond that, those states are not included in the guidelines. And if Roz or Deanna would like to provide more information on that question, it's open to your response.
Good evening again. So the question on why there are only certain states available. So the Navajo Nation, we did submit a model plan for our regular LIHEAP block grant. And in there, because that was only covering the boundaries within the Navajo Nation, which was Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah. And so when the CARES Act came in, the federal government had indicated, since we already have a model plan which outlines the boundaries of the Navajo Nation, which are in the 3 states, is where we're able to have some flexibility to offer to Navajo citizens who reside off the Navajo Nation in those 3 states. So we're not able to open to the entire United States with anyone with the census. So that's how our plan was already submitted for just the regular ongoing block grant. Just wanted to provide the information. Also, I was looking at the chat, looking at comments. There was the answers were provided as far as questions. There's multiple households living in one home, and if multiple families can apply. So Ms. Goodluck did provide the information as well, 1 application per household. So I am looking at some of the questions that are coming in. There was another question about what about last year if a person received LIHEAP? And with the regular LIHEAP block grant, it indicates that the funding that was received from prior years for the regular block grant, they usually require a receipt to be eligible for the following years. But with this LIHEAP Cares, that's not a requirement. Again, so there are 2 separate LIHEAP funding that we'll talk to the applicants regarding that as well. I believe those are the only questions that I had jotted down that were not specifically answered in the presentation. Thank you.
Okay, we do have an overview for our low-income household water assistance program. So this portion will not be as lengthy, and this is just to provide an overview, and we'll go ahead and get started with that. And then in the end, we'll have some more questions. So the Navajo Nation did receive a notice of award. So a notice of award is just letting us know that we will be provided with a one-time non-recurring. So again, this is just like the LIHEAP Cares. It's going to be a one-time, so it's not going to be available to us again once we expend all of these funds. So we did get the notice of award, so we don't have the funds just yet. And this award came through the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2021, as well as the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. And this is for low-income household water assistance program. And this is a service, an assistance service provided nationwide. So throughout the nation, this is a new service for wastewater assistance and emergency water assistance to help low-income households with water bills and wastewater bills. And right now, our Navajo Family Assistance Services Office will be administering and implementing LIHEAP services as soon as it becomes available to us. And go ahead, Roz, you can do the translation.
That ATA yahat troche do tronchanan ziniki yanahadne. Dito a day hawando ye hawanda yana jay beso hat aija ana dait la e na kiko ke hona ago. Lani da e paper card or was Ajaba weekend I allow a Ajaba weekend or Liesa or a base of Babin Yachadet Ado Navajo Family Assistance Services do a Aja a do Aja Yanada Dodnish. Delilah.
Okay, our notice of award, the Navajo Nation will be submitting a plan for services, a plan for LIHEAP services, August 9th, 2021. So this plan will outline the process, the application process, eligibility criteria, the payment process. So once this plan is submitted by August 9th, then the applications, upon approval, the applications will be released to the public, and announcements will be made letting them know that this service is now available. So we wanted to provide this information to the public now to provide awareness and to, provide a heads up that this service will be available after August 9th. So the funds for the approved applications, if you submit an application and you're approved, the funds will not be paid to you. Instead, the funds will be paid directly to vendors on behalf of the low-income households for drinking water and wastewater needs. And like we had mentioned earlier, these funds are federal funds. Therefore, there's justification that needs to be made. There's criteria that we have to follow in order to be in compliance for receiving these funds. So one of the requirements is that the funds be paid directly to vendors and not households. Go ahead, Ross.
Kwe o hanagi dik adiziliki na dezeto the need ose August ko na nast ego yos kaso e na sos kodo Navajo Nation height e besu chido ildo di height the nebakat o was the quick goal she is kid night the kid odd lang go night the kid is she ko na neto les epic she other base on each and what all need ko aja ya hal net di quite or at ano ya hal net ado base of ye diki she bitch and so sago tro na ya hil ya das liniki ado control do trochos edigich anan liniki she khajo khashi ya halia aje ki bitch as lado le khot a but di has ani ki khot abis so quite ya hadna Delilah.
So who is eligible to receive LIHEAP? This again is assistance for low-income households. So there is an application process to where the household income of all household members must equal to or less than the 150% of the federal poverty level. So a matrix will be provided once this once we're able to gather all the information. It'll be included in the plan, and the matrix, like the one that we shared for the LIHEAP Cares, will be made available for you to view. And once that is approved, then after August 19th, we will post that matrix for people to see and use as a quick reference. Households applying for LIHEAP will also need to document that they spend more than 30% of their monthly income on housing. So, in preparation for this funding that's coming down, we recommend that households do keep track of their monthly income on their housing expenses, and to document that the household is spending more than 30% of their income on housing expenses. Households also receiving LIHEAP, TANF, SNAP, or SSI are categorically eligible, meaning that they're eligible without conditions. So if a household is receiving these other benefits, they are still potentially eligible to receive LIHEAP. Ross?
Khela ya pa hot ito di khojet khot to peso pan na pachana det aniki ko pa khago ke has a khishin pel ke hot iniki alla hon dan higaniki khojet peso be etnel ahiki alla de nesa tindo pa shlatin khodel hot aje betnel hot di na kha peso ol iniki bet na hot anid nas khidegi et betnel hot shin hlapin ya bet neto lel ado alla hone ke hot iniki khatot is alla peso il shiki khatot is bi ha edo tai belako aje hawa has age hawa bik as lado that el ida bik ana as lado at henate zokoshi di tra 30% ilne khatot is bi ha belaho kot aje bik as lago to hot idola ado بالكيدا هوت إنكي أصلا هو نمنا أخيشي كجش إش ببيسو دات إلا بيبكا أو لود إيدو داي تانف جدات بيبكا أو لود آدو داي دات food stamp دا بدي نيند أك أد إي سناب بديشنا آجدات إلا شيان جو بيبكا نا ألوو إيدو داي دات SSI دا بجنا إليا أكت أصلا أكت Ada ben kana alwo AI da be hot ito lesti Kuje an nana liagi thodot hunchon ajibek as love e yediki. Delilah.
So the assistance that LIHEAP provides is the assistance program can pay past due bills for household drinking water, wastewater, and this also includes reconnection charges or late fees or penalty fees. Also, the services, the assistance can also pay full or partial payment of a currently due bill, and this is for drinking water and wastewater services. So right now, the LIHEAP funds are to be paid directly to public water system vendors. And these funds cannot be directly paid to households. So, like for example, right now with our LIHEAP, our standard LIHEAP and our CARES LIHEAP, we can pay households directly for wood and pellets. We can pay households directly for the heating and cooling costs. But for this service with LIHEAP, we are restricted from doing so. So I know there will be a lot of questions about those households that do not, excuse me, that do not utilize a water vendor like NTUA. Like they have no running water in their household, so they haul their own water. And then there's also those households that need assistance with septic tank services. So I know we will get a lot of inquiries on how these households dealing with these situations can use this service. So right now, the way it is currently with LIHEAP, the federal government is restricting the Navajo Nation only to pay public water system vendors. But since the plan is still being developed, the Navajo Nation is in discussion with the federal government in regards to these situations where families do not have running water and they haul their own water. So they need help with water barrels. They need help with paying for water when they travel to the border towns. They need help purchasing that water. They need help transporting that water. So that is in discussion right now. And again, this presentation was just to provide the public with awareness to say that this program is coming down. And in the beginning of August, upon plan approval, we should have a better idea as to exactly what services we can provide and what the criteria is for eligibility and how the application process will go. So at that time, we will provide the guidelines and the application on the Navajo Division of Social Services website as well as the Navajo Nation website. Go ahead, Ross.
The Bernard or the Walia Nahalne, Sashi, Adin Hilho Agi, Deninado, a quit ada than Stan Edat Zado, a quit ad Koje Toto, Tocho, any tweet Lanicho, Eniki, Ado Tochos, Indiki, Chenan Leniki, Sashi Ajibik as Laha Bekeda, the Asli, a could a pass duishne, the question, aha, a dot a Ajibe, cat or was a could be hot. ado thota na kizont gota ado benina late feed benina o thot bandi liego of na kizota kot ado bed o was ado topic at slahagi do chos indigi big at slahagi is to adat it ended bekend or liel edo dat the hashinelt or the epic end or liel eshin hot kujud height don is no plan is na hatiliago jo deep and not hat dol ni jo dit hot abe do dit abe the has itla kwa halne ado ya nahal neki khishi thobits ado bit archidol ido khishi thochos indiki aja yahanal niki khishi bebet halniki digi bit zlado les akot behes anibis so nte nchein khot ein khilbahozen laita denne bit honda o cistern system da bed halong ado edo da septic tank do bed halong da yos hot egi do ba hot ito lana jo hot queens zendo hot na hat ko Washington the bed halni ki hoje sits in dan lini bet pata enish do ajo hoje bet halni ki hot yes khan yes ta halne do die bella ado lesson hin khapa na khapi to zo no hot hat ahit shitna kwade ya na khapa ho no sin do les ba ho ni zin la da hot anich na hot cho enigi do ho wan betraz ada do chose indiki do inan lini do ho wan hayu do bi do bebe kata da benina adot khapan date Delilah.
Okay, in regards to the LIHEAP program, these are our next steps. So we're just sharing this with you all to give you an idea as to what's coming next. So the LIHEAP plan will be submitted for approval by August 9th. And at this time, we will be reaching out to vendors dealing with drinking water and wastewater to start initiating agreements to make payments out to them for those households that have been approved for these services. We will also provide more public education and outreach, such as this town hall today. And a lot of the information will be shared on the Division of Social Services website and the Navajo Nation website, as well as all of the Division of Social Services offices. The LIHEAP application drive will tentatively begin October 1st. So with the application drive, this is where we will be in partnership with other Navajo Nation offices, such as the chapter houses, the Department of Health, and we'll be partnering with them so that they may provide these applications to the public and some direction as to how to submit them. So that will begin tentatively October 1st, and all of this really depends on the approval on July 9th. So once that approval takes place, all of these other things will be initiated. And that's just to give you an idea as to what's coming next for LIHEAP. Ross?
Atlay nasnana khala na ta di ni la jo kha the tingos ke nana so di ko je peso chedet anigi ben na che peso chi don inligi plan isne di de beni it ant ose nast goyos kalo ajen ado abich it oyos kalo she kon el net o les ado net Koshi ashin hot the donals added de nash ido other she that there's she hot the donals ebini na apich ito ako to ni no kuton nahat ako ado tro bebeta hosnehiki do trote yes yediki NTUA that ehiki continental divide that ehiki yahai akot bes agreement is nebe egat bes isgat et aho hait edi hait bet o lwasto hait na iliedo lesiki she at ehjo akot bes panahat edo les ado akon hit kaho public education gisne akon hit kaho shi hanna et edo les newspaper dashin be yet or les ado website isne shin istot da be yet or les at akon hit kaho akot the application also that is net or lesiki din also nahat agi bella as lido bekedo di at Raja izli ado dat yaha nal so siki khot na hatla to les khot khot bik holia shik edo shidna Delilah.
Okay, that concludes our overview on LIHEAP Cares and the LIHWAP. And for more information, you can always contact the Division of Social Services. Again, that number 928-871-6851. So when calling that number, you will be redirected to appropriate personnel, just depending on your question. So you're welcome to call that number in regards to LIHEAP, in regards to LIHWAP, and also in regards to any social service program or department. Thank you. Roz? Okay, Roz, are you going to do the translation, or are we just going to go right into Deanna?
I'll go ahead and conclude with our closing remarks. Good evening again. This is Deannah, Neswood-Gishey, Division of Social Services Executive Director. I'd like to thank my team members, Delilah and Rosalind, for providing the information in English and in Navajo. Again, I have been reviewing the comments being made and jotting them down. We will have a frequently asked questions on our website as well. So if some of your questions were not answered directly, we'll put those responses in there as well. So I just wanted to conclude and let all of you know that we have all gone through hardship during this pandemic, and we've had many family members that were lost. Many of us have endured having to do additional expenses. We've got people who are normally working, having their loss of job, which was not their choice. Restaurants have been closed. There's hair salons have been closed. And so people were not choosing to not work. It was because of the pandemic. Many employers released some employees as well. So this is one way that the federal government, our new president of the United States, Biden, has looked at all of the U.S. citizens, and they have taken specific allocations specifically for tribal governments. And this is where we are charged with overseeing the LIHEAP and the LIHWAP. I know we always talk about acronyms, but this is where I ask for your support, your communication with your family members, your relatives, your neighbors, to share this information. Again, President Nez started in the beginning that if you missed some of the presentation, or some other individuals are not watching this because they're watching the Suns play, go back and look at it as a reference, because we are here to assist We have made several changes within division. And we also had, we really looked at how we can provide these services. And this is where we're changing our usage of the eligibility. There was always been utilized the national poverty guideline. And so we had learned that we could use the state medium income guideline, which actually raised the income limits higher than the national poverty guideline. Prior, they were only assisting Navajo individuals residing on Navajo. And so we researched out and told we can assist Navajos living off the reservation in the 3 states, Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah. So we are here to provide this service to you, and we will do whatever we can within the division. We have 485 Division of Social Service employees. We have a great team. We have several other services that we provide. And so we worked through the pandemic. And so we will continue to be here to serve you. I did, again, read the comments. And so I will take to heart the questions and we will move forward. So thank you for your time and go Phoenix Suns. Thank you.